Hello, hello. How are we doing this evening, guys? Hopefully, all is well. Can you guys hear me all right? I might be a little bit quieter. Someone just give me a quick confirmation in chat that you guys can hear me, you guys can see my screen, and we'll get started right away. All right. Awesome, awesome. Well, as you guys might have seen from the announcement, I will not be trading this week. I will actually be trying to trade on Monday, seeing if anything can occur, just because I'm basically leaving for vacation and I would like to get a payout just before, and I am eligible. Just don't have enough money to be worth my time as a payout right now. So I will be trying to trade on Monday, seeing if I can get something with some half risk trades. But otherwise, I will be leaving for Vegas and I will not be back the entire week. So we won't have any price action reviews. Once I'm back, I would be glad to schedule a time where we can just all review the entire week together. Be more than happy to catch back up. It would give me an opportunity also to get back into it after a week off. I will be available in chat, just not consistently, right? But happy to answer any questions during that week. Just wanted to clear that off right away and let you guys know so that you don't question why there aren't any events during the week. Now, otherwise, let's still do our outlook. We already discussed multiple times specifically what we saw in this move. But now there's two possibilities, right? We have all-time highs, which is right here, and I hate calling it all-time highs, but we have our all-time highs on NASDAQ, which we could flip and return to bullish. And of course, ES already traded big SMT at these levels. So, do we care? First of all, that there is SMT formed at this level? Not at all, right? NASDAQ could just be a little slower. It is more bearish, as we saw with the multiple SMT that was formed on the lows. So we have plenty of opportunity for NASDAQ to catch back up. But what if we aren't bullish? Well, there's also a bearish hypothesis. And how will we confirm where we're going? Well, it's very simple, actually. We have pretty clear news event on the 3 last days of the week. So I'm going to look at where is my possible retracement level, because we've already turned slightly bearish now. So we're trading back within our range. And if we do not show respect of that retracement level, then of course the targets are bearish. And so we'll have some pretty clear levels to go down. Now, since we don't have a clear discount and efficiency, and now you might be telling me, oh, hey, look at this inversion fair value gap, right? It's still valid. We didn't close through it. Sure, but we already traded to it multiple times. This is not an inefficiency that I would like to revisit. It is balanced. So I can go down to the 4-hour instead and notice that my first discount inefficiency in this case is some sell side liquidity. The only thing I don't like about this is this low resistance right here and right here, right? All of this has no reason to not be reached after taking this out, right? Accelerating through this. So the truth is, for my analysis of the week, we can go all the way down to what we see at these relative equal lows as a potential retracement objective. Now, of course, we don't have a lot of room left to play with afterwards. So if we show, well, basically if we displace through it, I see an aggressive close. And of course, I'm looking at 4-hour levels. I'll be looking at 4-hour closes. And for some early additional insight, always use this 15 minutes. That is what I look for. And if we do close through it, displace through it, then in that case, I'm going to be very bearish. And then the target is very simple. I'm going to start with the extremity of the range, right? Of course, always considering SMT when in a trade. And after the extremity of that range, we have all of these relative equal lows. I think we actually took out these lows. Yeah, we did by a few points. But we have some very clear objective. Now, of course, I'm used to it, so I just noticed them right away. But if we go on the daily chart, you'll notice that the levels I marked out are just some very clear levels for sell side objectives. But I don't expect to have a 5% down week almost, right? We're getting close to contract change. It is the last week until contract change, right? Which is happening actually on Monday next week. So also, if you're trading later in this week, do be on the lookout on bar chart. I'll show again at the end of this video. It's been a while since I've showcased how to do that. But overall, I'm expecting a pretty uneventful week, right? Hopefully we can see a retracement and a continuation higher. That would be great. Going into contract change bullish, being ready for that. If not, some sell side objective, I can still look for bullish price action after they are met. So overall, looking for an uneventful week, getting ready for the contract change. I would much prefer the volatility to come to the new contract. As we close off positions, probably a lot of longs that needs to be rolled over into the next contract. So hopefully we can see some manipulation lower, some downside market makers in action, so that we can start the new contract with some bullish price action as longs get rolled over to the new contract. Overall, not much to discuss outside of that, right? What will confirm any bullish price action after reaching these relative equal lows, this sell side liquidity? Well, if we have a long setup, now all of a sudden I have a long framework from this level to the external of the range and then all-time highs. This is the move I'm predicting. This is the framework. And I see that if we close below these levels, then I have a new framework to this close nearby sell side and the adjacent levels below. Now, what do I do between the time where any of these levels get met? Well, I have a very clear framework of wherever we open, all the way down to the sell side and further to these relative equal lows. I don't think there is any better way I could define precisely what I'm looking for. I am literally telling you guys what moves I will be looking to trade this week, and those are the only moves I will be considering. And as I said, I won't be trading late in the week. Maybe I'll try, but Vegas is 3 hours behind Eastern time, so I will not be waking up at 6 a.m., and I will not be trading before going to bed if I'm still up at 6 a.m. These are not the probabilities of focus that will make me money. Let's just say it like that. So overall, going to be pretty calm week for me. So I guess I'm betting on an uneventful week so that I don't miss too much, but it is the week before contract change. Sometimes it can get a little bit crazy. The only advice I can give you all is don't put all your eggs in the same basket, right? Be very careful with risk management this week. It is not going to be worth your time. And worst case scenario, you have a small losing week or you just have very little trades this week. You'll be much happier than that than risking your entire accounts on a week like this. It is not the best moment, even though there is a lot of volatility. It is unclear volatility. Do we have any questions? I'm also going to open bar chart so I can actually show you guys. It's been a while, but this is precisely how I decide when to switch contracts. I use this tool that is linked in our Discord under official links. I'll also put it in the description of the video. Let me actually put it up on the recording and share my screen to you guys so that you guys can see bar chart as well. So there's this tool right here, this website, just very simple, barchart.com. And on this tool, there's a lot of valuable data, but the only thing that I use, I go here to select a commodity. I go down to my indices, whether you do S&P or NASDAQ. I trade the NASDAQ, so I always like to see the NASDAQ. As you can see here, I have access to all the available current contracts, right? And right here, you have this little guy that shows the open interest. What is that? It is the total number of open contracts for the previous day that have been traded, but not yet liquidated via offsetting trades. What does that mean? It's open trades, right? Open interest, pretty self-explanatory. I don't look at volume at all. I don't care about the volume, to be honest. Why not just use NQ1? Well, some of us don't trade directly on TradingView. Myself included. I don't trade on TradingView. And so if you're trading on TradingView and you're only trading one account or you're copy trading from an account connected to TradingView, however it is, right? Yeah, you can just go on NQ1, but you're not always going to be trading the right contract because sometimes you should have switched. Like, for example, sometimes I think the longest it has been for me is like 4 days before the contract expiry, right? Which is when NQ1 would have switched to the next following contract, which in this case is going to be what is it going to be? Z? Yeah, and the NQZ. Well, sometimes it switches, but I should have switched 4 days before, and then you get very high resistance price action that slips you a lot, and that's only because you did not do this. So I do this every morning before trading for the contract change week, and I make sure that I am trading a contract with the most open interest, because that will be the contract with the smoothest delivery. That's it, Vito. So, I mean, we could make up excuses, but the truth is you shouldn't be trading directly on NQ1 for contract change week. That's it. Or at least trade NQ1, and if you see it switches earlier, then you should trade that specifically. This is not a question of personal preference. It's a question of optimal trading conditions. So I would really recommend that you switch over for those periods of time. And anyways, it's getting you prepared for a time where you're probably going to scale up in terms of managing capital and accounts. And trading on a continuous contract made by TradingView is not a consistent way of doing it, if that makes sense. Any questions? As I said, this will be linked in the YouTube video, and for you guys that are here live, it's in official links. You can find it very easily. It is called Bar Chart. Any final questions before we call it an evening here? All right, pretty straightforward. Well, you guys have a great week. Good luck trading. And as I said, I will be available in chat here and there, so feel free to ask any questions and tag me. Bye, guys. Have a great night.